Good afternoon, everybody. In the driver's seat today is Allan Stejskal, CEO of AutoAlert. Before joining AutoAlert, Allan was the CEO of Incandia, the second largest global provider of automotive dealer management systems. Allan was named an IT All-Star by Automotive News in 2015. Welcome, Allan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Casey?
I'm doing great, thanks. So we're just going to get right into this. All right, you ready?
Sounds good.
So first question, I know you guys rolled out a new CRM at NADA this year. And, as we know, obviously from the automotive news side, there's a lot of competition, both in the DMS and the CRM space. Why'd you guys think that now was the right time to launch a new CRM?
Well, Casey, this all started with our existing customer base. They asked us to build a modern tool that capitalized on the power of AutoAlert's data analytics to extend our platform, one that really helped them to drive more revenue and growth from their existing customer base, to one that helped them to manage both the existing customers and prospects. A key challenge that our customers have had is that they've needed to work in two tools, AutoAlert and a CRM. Now they can work in just one tool where all the functionalities come together and frankly, it's come together with a lot of exciting new capabilities. So for example, CXM monitors customer and prospect activity, like online visits or physical visits to a competitor's showroom, and then tailors the messages and adjusts the sales follow-up tasks to fit. It doesn't just rely on a set time-based follow-up schedule like the traditional CRMs do.
Okay, I gotcha. So talk a little bit about the pandemic now too, because, we all know business has been totally disrupted. Retail has gone through such a transformation since, that early 2020 timeframe. How would you say that inventory shortages and COVID have really impacted AutoAlert's business? And then, maybe in the last 24 months, what have you seen as some of the biggest changes?
Yeah. It really has been quite a ride over the last couple of years, and it's been exciting to see how the industry's evolved through the process. For our business, I've been really proud of how the AutoAlert team has partnered with our dealer clients to face the challenges. Our business was historically focused on helping dealers to capitalize on opportunities for a customer to trade their existing vehicle for a new one at about the same monthly payment. We'd expanded well beyond that, but it was still a fundamental part of what we do. But we've now been able to take the wealth of data that we have about a dealer's customers and use it in some pretty unique and powerful ways. So, for example, when dealers had their showrooms shut down during the beginning of COVID, but their service were open, we used recall data to identify recalls where the dealer had the parts to complete them. And we used that to drive incremental service business. But we did it with a focus on customers who were in a position to trade their vehicles so that stores could still power the front end with that activity. At the same time, they were generating incremental service profits. So from there, as the crisis evolved, our teams have really worked with our dealer partners, focused on buying back used vehicles and now to driving vehicle orders.
Sure. Allan, you were talking a lot about data there. And as we know, everything is digital and everything is data now. And I know that you guys have really helped dealers over the last couple of decades, mine their data and really figure out what to do about it. Talk a little bit more about the average dealer and maybe how they have evolved and really use data to become more efficient and helpful in the customer experience.
Yeah. Casey, I've really seen a recognition on the part of dealers around the power of using data to maximize the value of each single opportunity. With the shortage of inventory at every dealer today, finding a customer to buy a new car is not much of a challenge. And as a result, the OEMs have cut incentives, dealers have cut their marketing spend. But for me, the key today is to get the most from each sale, both in the short and the long term. And, as a dealer, if I can sell a car to someone that's going to give me a late model trade that I can then sell to someone who gives me a slightly older used vehicle, that I can then sell to someone who will give me a slightly older used vehicle, I can get 3 or 4 more sales from that one new car. And frankly, if I'm a dealer, I can choose to sell that vehicle to a loyal customer that services with me. And then I retain the service revenue that I'd lose if I sell that vehicle to a crosstown conquest that isn't going to service with me. So, and dealers are using, their data to be smart about treating their existing customer base well. And they're using that data to comb their waiting lists for hot vehicles and making sure that those vehicles are going to their customers that are going to drive high long-term revenue and gross for the dealership. At AutoAlert, we like to talk about the right message to the right consumer at the right time. It's another area where data mining just makes a huge difference for the customer experience. We've got the data to ensure that a dealer is starting a conversation with the consumer at the right time, because we know when they've historically shopped for their next vehicle, or we've seen them engaged online at another location. With our data, we're able to help them present the right options that are most likely to engage a customer right out of the gate. And with our follow-up tools and ongoing monitoring, we're able to keep the conversation evolving as the customer shopping process evolves. These kind of smarter, timelier, data-driven conversations frankly make the dealers look better in front of the customer, and it makes this faster, simpler, and more engaging for the consumer.
So speaking of these dealers, we're writing more about dealer profitability than we ever have. And when you look at the year 2022, I think it's shaping up to be maybe one of the best. What do you think should be top of mind for these dealers right now?
Yeah, Casey, for me, two things jump out at me. First, the customer experience and long-term relationships with those customers is paramount. The online disruptors are doing it today, and dealers really should continue to make it easier for their customers to do business with them by simplifying the process, by shortening the amount of time it takes to buy a vehicle, and frankly, by increasing the transparency through better communications. And then second is really don't wait as a dealer. Don't wait for the market to get back to normal to take the steps needed to prepare. Changes, I think, are likely to come fast when they do come. So dealers should capitalize, frankly, on the time and the extra profitability that they have now to invest in the tools and processes that'll let them win when inventories start to grow again and front-end grosses inevitably start to come back to earth.
Certainly. Well, Allan, we really appreciate you being here with us today, and grateful for your insights. Before we leave, I'd like to give our audience an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better.
All right.
Well, fill us in real quick. What was your first car?
First car was a 1965 VW Bug. A lot of great memories there, and it was a perfect chance for me to practically replace everything in that thing by the time I was done with it.
I bet. What fun. How about your favorite job?
My favorite job. Favorite job was probably the time that I spent at AutoNation working to build out the whole online sales and service experience.
I bet. It sounds like fun. Allan, thanks again for being with us today. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Casey, thanks very much. Good talking to you.
Soon. Cheers.